Welcome to Cantin y Gamboa. Welcome to Colegio Cantin y Gamboa. In the dark, in the silence, stories begin. These are horror stories created by students from First ESO and PAE 1. Each student imagined a mysterious world full of shadows, strange noises, and unknown creatures. First, they wrote their own stories using simple English and past tense. They worked on basic vocabulary, sentence structure, and creativity. Then, their teacher used artificial intelligence to transform these ideas into more detailed and expressive stories, helping students see how their writing can grow and improve. After that, these stories were turned into short videos with images, sound, and narration. In this way, students practiced reading and listening skills, while also developing their digital competence. This project combines creativity, language learning, and technology. It helps students express their ideas, build confidence in English, and learn in a motivating and meaningful way. Now, turn off the lights and get ready. The stories are about to begin. In the dark, in the silence, stories begin. These are horror stories created by students from First ESO and PAE 1.
Daniel cannot sleep. He's not afraid of the dark. But one night something changes. When Daniel closes his eyes, he hears a voice. No. Daniel opens his eyes. The room is quiet. There is nothing there. He thinks it is his mind.
He tries again. He closes his eyes. Don't close your eyes. Daniel sits up. He turns on the light.
He looks around the room. Nothing is there. But he is scared now. That night, he does not sleep. Every time he closes his eyes, he hears the voice again. Don't close your eyes, please. On the third night, the voice is closer. If you close your eyes, you will see me. Daniel is very tired. He cannot sleep. His eyes are very red. He feels afraid all the time. He tries music. He tries the TV. He keeps the light on, but nothing helps. One night, he is too tired. He closes his eyes. And he sees it. It is in his room. A tall thing is in the corner. It is very thin. It has no eyes. It has a big smile. Daniel cannot move. He is very scared. The thing comes closer. I told you, do not do it. Daniel opens his eyes fast. The room is empty. But something is wrong. He feels it behind him, breathing. Daniel never closes his eyes again. Never. But every time he blinks, it comes closer. One day, people find Daniel in his room. He is standing, he is not moving, he is smiling, but it is not his smile. And in the mirror, his reflection blinks first.
Ever since she moved into the old apartment, Clara couldn't sleep well. Every night, exactly at 3:33, she heard 3 sharp knocks on her bedroom door. She thought it was the neighbours, or maybe old pipes, until one night she gathered the courage to look through the peephole. No one was there, but as she stepped away, she heard a whisper behind her. You shouldn't have checked. The following nights got worse. The knocking grew louder, and the whisper no longer came from outside, but from inside the apartment, from the walls. Clara began to notice strange things. Shadows moving without light, objects out of place, and worst of all, her reflection in the mirror didn't always mimic her. One night at 3:33, the knocking didn't come from the door, but from inside the closet. Trembling, she opened it. Inside, there were no clothes, only darkness, and a figure with her same face, but with an impossible smile. Now you stay outside, the figure said. The next morning, the neighbours saw Clara leave her apartment with a strange calmness. She greeted everyone, smiled, but something in her eyes felt wrong. That same night, at 3:33, from inside the closet, someone began to knock desperately. 3 knocks, a pause, 3 more knocks, and a muffled whisper. "Please, don't open the door." When Emma moved into the small house at the end of Willow Lane, she felt relieved. It wasn't big or modern, but it was hers, for now. One of the neighbours, an old woman with tired eyes, stopped Emma. "Just one thing," she said softly. "If you hear knocking at night, don't open the door." The first few nights were normal. But on the third night, just as Emma was about to fall asleep, she heard it. Knock, knock, knock. She sat up in bed, confused. It was exactly midnight. She walked slowly to the door and looked through the peephole. No one was there. The knocking didn't stop. Every night, at exactly the same time, she heard those 3 knocks. At first, Emma tried to ignore it. She started feeling tired during the day. She couldn't focus on her homework, and even small noises made her nervous. One night, she even checked outside, but the street was empty. On the 6th night, things got worse. The knocking came again, louder this time. Knock, knock, knock. Emma stood there. She was tired of being scared. So she opened it. Nothing, just cold air and silence. But then she noticed something that made her freeze. There were wet footprints on the floor. They were going deeper into the house. The footprints led straight to her bedroom. Inside, everything looked normal, except for the closet. The door was moving, very slowly, as if something was pushing it from the inside. Emma couldn't move. She couldn't even breathe. Then she heard it. A whisper. "Thank you for opening the door." The next day, no one saw Emma leave the house. A week later, a new student arrived in town. He moved into the same house, not knowing anything about its past. That night, he heard something. Knock, knock, knock. From somewhere deep inside the house, a weak voice whispered, "Don't. Open it."
The old pendulum clock in my grandmother's hallway had never worked, or so she claimed. "It stopped the day your grandfather left, and it will never mark the hours again," she used to say with a vacant stare. However, on the first night I stayed alone in that manor after her funeral, the silence was shattered by a metallic clank. At 3 a.m, a rhythmic, heavy tick-tock began to echo through the walls. I crept down the stairs, my heart hammering against my ribs. When I reached the hallway, I saw the pendulum swinging with unnatural force. But the movement wasn't the terrifying part. It was the hands. They were spinning frantically backward. The air turned frigid, and the smell of damp earth filled the room. Looking at the reflection in the clock's glass, I didn't see my own face. Instead, I saw my grandmother, young and terrified, screaming soundlessly as something dark dragged her into the wood. I tried to run, but my feet sank into the floor, which now felt like mud. The clock struck a dull chime, and the hands stopped dead. The glass shattered. As I felt myself being sucked into an invisible void, I understood the family secret. The clock didn't mark time. It devoured it. Before the darkness swallowed me whole, I saw my own name carved into the old wood, right beneath my grandmother's.
One day a girl called Hazel from a place called Messina. Hazel was a very pretty girl with long blonde hair and fair skin with a beautiful royal blue dress. Hazel had gone out of her house to pick up some stuff for her family while she came across an odd-looking rat. The rat had dark, slick hair and was bigger than a normal one. "Today, while I was doing some chores, I came across an odd rat," said Hazel at the dinner table. When Hazel looked at her parents, they had an uneasy look on their faces. Later that night, she heard an awful scream outside. She looked outside to see a body on the floor with someone sobbing and grieving over them. Her parents explained there was a plague called the Black Death. Hazel took another look outside and saw a dark, hooded figure over the dead body. Hazel's mother had gotten infected. Before she died, she looked at Hazel and said, "I love you." But she looked behind Hazel to see the same hooded figure and screamed. That same day, her father had passed away too. By the time she cried herself to sleep, it had been morning, and she saw there were now only 17 people left out of the whole village. One day she heard a knock at the door. Hazel jumped just to find a boy around her age crying at the door. "Want to stay with me?" said Hazel. "Yes, please," responded the boy. "Hey, you never told me your name." But this time he responded, "You haven't chosen my name. I'm not real." At that very moment, Hazel froze. At that moment, the boy disappeared and a figure appeared saying, "You're done here." And then everything went black. She finally got to see her parents again.
It is a very grey Monday morning. Amélie is walking on the street. She is French, but she lives in Spain now. She is hungry. She sees a bakery called the Golden Ear. She goes inside. Inside, the smell is delicious. Marta, the shop assistant, smiles. "Good morning." "Welcome," says Marta. "The bread is fantastic today." Suddenly, Sophie, Amélie's neighbour, enters the shop too. "Hello, Amélie, do you want a croissant?" Sophie asks. "Yes, I would like a croissant and a baguette, please," Amélie answers. Marta prepares the bag. But in the bakery, there is an old mirror. Amélie looks at the mirror. She sees Sophie, she sees Marta, and she sees the cakes. But behind her, Amélie sees a shadow. It is a man. He is very tall and very dark. Amélie looks behind her quickly. The shop is empty. There is no man. "Are you okay?" Marta asks. Her face is strange. "Yes," says Amélie. She is scared. Amélie takes her croissant and looks at the mirror one last time. In the reflection, Marta and Sophie are not smiling. Their eyes are black, and they do not move. And the shadow is now standing next to Amélie. The shadow whispers, "Welcome to the neighborhood." Amélie runs out of the bakery very fast. She eats her croissant, but it has no flavor. It is cold like ice.
Leo is a young man. He lives in an old house. One day, when Leo was bored, he went up to the attic. And there, he found a mirror. The mirror was a little broken and had a silver frame. At midnight, Leo is in bed. Out of nowhere, he heard a strange noise. It is a whisper. He looks at the mirror and he doesn't see his own reflection. He sees tall, dark shadows with big red eyes. The shadow smiles at him. Leo is very scared. He tries to scream, but he cannot speak. The shadow starts to come out of the mirror. It touches Leo's bed with a cold hand. Leo remembers his flashlight. He takes it and turns it on. The bright light hits the monster. The monster screams and goes back inside the mirror.
Once upon a time, a boy named Daniel moved into an old house with his family. Everyone in town said the house had been empty for many years because strange things happened there. But Daniel did not believe them. On his first night, he heard soft footsteps in the hallway outside his bedroom door. He opened the door, but no one was there, only the sound of whispering coming from the basement. Curious and afraid, Daniel followed the whispers downstairs and found a small locked door hidden behind old boxes. The whispers became louder and louder until the door slowly opened by itself. Inside the dark room stood a pale girl with black eyes. She smiled and said, "Thank you for letting me out." The lights in the house went black. Daniel screamed, and the next morning his family found the basement empty. Daniel had vanished forever, and from that night on, two voices whispered in the darkness instead of one.